A pleasant day to everyone. I'm Harnisa Osainoding, and today I will be presenting my report on North Atlantic Treaty Organization or NATO, the topic that was assigned to me. NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, is a political and military alliance between European and North American countries created in 1949. Its main purpose was to defend member nations from Leopold Union during the Cold Brussels, to promote democratic values and collective defense through consensus-based decision-making. It operates crisis management missions and works to combat security threats. NATO currently has 29 members countries and is headquartered in Brussels, Belgium. NATO base. NATO headquarters is the political and administrative center of the alliance and the permanent home of the Atlantic Council. NATO's senior political decision-making body, the headquarters, is located at Boulevard Leopold 1110 Brussels, Belgium, on the northeast perimeter of the city. Members. NATO is an international alliance that consists of 29 member states from North America and Europe. There is Belgium, Germany, Netherlands, Turkey, Canada, Greece, Norway, United Kingdom, Czech, Hungary, Poland, United States, France, Iceland, Portugal, Estonia, Latvia, Italy, Luxembourg, Spain, Bulgaria, Lithuania, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Denmark, Montenegro, Albania, and Croatia. What is NATO do? A political and military organization. Members countries sharing common values, the principles of collective defense, comprehensive vision of security, maintaining the transatlantic link. NATO do helps to create a stable environment, welcome new members, forges partnership, leads to crisis management operations, combats existing and emerging. NATO works, consensus, decision making, civil and military structure, delegations, main bodies of NATO, NATO Security General, International Military Staff, Military Command Staff, agencies paying for NATO. Why NATO was created? The North Atlantic Treaty Organization was created in 1949 by the United States, Canada, and several Western European nations to provide collective security against the Soviet Union. Was the first peacetime military alliance by the United States entered into outside of the Western Hemisphere. In political alliance, we have diplomacy, dialogue, cooperation. But in sharing common values, we have democracy, common heritage, peace and stability, and freedom. In the global interstate system refers to the network of relationships and interactions among independent countries around the world. It plays a major role in shaping how nations cooperate or compete politically, economically, and socially. In the case of NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, the global interstate system influenced how countries form alliances to maintain peace and security after the World War II. Politically, NATO allowed members countries to unite under a common goal, protecting democracy and preventing the spread of communism during the Cold War. This strengthened cooperation and trust among Western nations. So, ang NATO nakatabang sa mga nasod nga mga maghiusa aron protektahan ang demokrasya ug pugngan ang komunismo sa panahon sa Cold War. Nagpalig-on bitaw siya sa cooperation ug pagsalig sa mga miyembro. In economically, the system encouraged NATO members to support each other through trade, technology sharing, and mutual aid. The stability provided by NATO helped member countries grow economically without fear of major wars. Ang mga miyembro sa NATO nagtuyok-tuyok sa pagtabangay sa kalakalan, teknolohiya ug uban pang suporta mao na ang reason nga mas lig-on ang ekonomiya ug walay kahadlok sa dakong gubot. Socially, NATO promoted shared values such as freedom, democracy, and human rights, creating a sense of unity among people from different countries. It also encouraged cultural exchanges and humanitarian cooperation. Ang NATO nagpalambo sa mga values sa mga sayon nga mga butang, demokrasya ug tawhanong katungod. Naghimo og pagkahiusa pagka bitang mag-isa bitaw sila sa mga tao ug tabang sa kultura ug humanitarian nga mga proyekto. The global interstate system faces many challenges that affect organizations like NATO. One major issue is the rise of the global conflicts and security threats such as terrorism, cyber attacks, and the war between Russia and Ukraine. These problems test NATO's ability to maintain peace and unity among its members. Another challenge is a political tension and the unequal responsibilities within the alliance. Some countries contribute more military or financial support than others, leading to disagreements. Economic competition, trade wars, and energy crises also affect relationships between member states and other nations. Ang uban nga nasod mas daghan og tabang kaysa uban. Maong usahay magkaaway sila tungod kay dili parehas ang ilahang gipanghatag nga suporta. In addition, social and humanitarian issues like migration, climate change, and human rights violations require global cooperation, but political interests sometimes prevent quick and fair action. Mga problema sama sa migration, climate change ug paglapas sa human rights nagninahanglan og tabang sa tanan nga nasod. Pero usahay dili dayon masulbad tungod kay lain-lain ang interes sa politiko. Possible solutions include strengthening diplomatic dialogue among nations, sharing responsibilities fairly, investing more in cyber and environmental security, and promoting peace through education and international cooperation. NATO can also expand partnerships with non-member countries to address global challenge collectively. Para masulbad ang mga problema, kinahanglan lig-unon ang istoryahanay sa mga nasod, patas ang pagbahin sa responsibilidad, mas daghang investment sa cyber ug environmental security ug ang kalinaw pinaagi sa education ug international cooperation. Makig-partner pod ang NATO sa non-member countries para mas dali masolbad ang global challenges. Article 5 of NATO. Article 5 of NATO is the core principle of the alliance known as collective defense. It states that if one member country is attacked, it is considered an attack against all members. This means that all NATO members will take action to assist the attacked country, which may include the use of armed force to restore and maintain security. Article 5 has only been used once in NATO's history after the September 11, 2001 terrorist attack on the United States. This showed the alliance unity and commitment to protecting one another. An attack against one is an attack against all. The Cold War. The state of political hostility between countries characterized by the threats, propaganda, and other members short of warfare existed between the Soviet bloc countries and US-led Western power to 1949 to 1990. They competed in military, space exploration, technology, and influence around the world. Important events include the Berlin blockade, the arms race, the space race, and the building and the fall of the Berlin Wall. The conflict finally ended in 1991 when the Soviet Union collapsed, leading to the spread of democracy and the expansion of NATO in Europe. defend each other against communist threat in 1949. In 1989, when the Berlin Wall fell, symbolizing the collapse of communist control in Eastern Europe, this was a major turning point and is often seen as the beginning of the end of the Cold War. In 1991, when the Soviet Union officially dissolved December 26, 1991, this marks the official end of the Cold War because of the main rival to NATO no longer exists. The Warsaw Pact. The Warsaw Pact was a military alliance formed in 1955 by the Soviet Union and its communist allies in Eastern Europe. It was created as a response to NATO, which the Soviet Union saw as a threat. The main purpose of the Warsaw Pact was to defend its members' countries and to keep control over Eastern Europe during the Cold War. It was created as a counterbalance to NATO, which included Western countries and was largely controlled by the Soviet Union. The pact was both a mutual defense agreement, meaning if one member was attacked, the others would defend it, and a way for the USSR to maintain control over Eastern Europe during the Cold War. NATO versus Warsaw Pact. NATO and the Warsaw Pact were rival alliances during the Cold War. NATO represented democratic Western countries while the Warsaw Pact represented communist Eastern countries. Their rivalry symbolized the division between the West and the East until the Cold War ended in 1991. Conclusion. NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, has played a major role in maintaining peace, security, and cooperation among its member countries since its creation in 1949. It was formed to protect democratic nations from the Soviet threat during the Cold War, but today it continues to work for global stability, crisis management, and the defense of freedom and shared values. NATO remains one of the strongest and most important alliances in the world, proving the power of unity and cooperation among nations.